and Delilah. The Philistines, a strong, war-crazy race, lived on the west of Israel, on the plain beside the Great Sea. These people sent their armies to the mountains of Israel and captured all the land. They took away from the Israelites all their weapons, so that they would not be able to fight. The Philistines also destroyed their crops, so that the Israelites would remain hungry. And as always, the troubled Israelites prayed to the Lord for help, and the Lord heard their prayer. In the tribe land of Dan, a place which lay next to the country of the Philistines, there lived a man named Manoah. One day, an angel came to his wife and said, "You shall have a son, and when he grows up, he will save Israel from the Philistines. But your son must never drink any wine or any other drink as long as he lives, and his hair must be allowed to grow long and must never be cut. This is because he shall be a Nazirite under a vow to the Lord." After some time, the child was born as the angel had said. He was named Samson. He grew up to be extremely strong. Though Samson was no general, he could lead his people in war. He did much to set his people free, and he did it all on his own, without any help from any other man. When Samson became a young man, he went down to Timnath, a place in the land of the Philistines. There he saw a young Philistine woman, whom he liked very much and wished to marry. Though he got married to this girl, she was killed by the Philistines a few days later due to some conflict. Sometime later, Samson saw another woman among the Philistines, and he liked her too. Her name was Delilah. When the Philistine rulers learned about this, they came to Delilah and told her, "Find out and tell us what it is that makes Samson so strong. If you help us to get him under control, we will give you a great sum of money." And so Delilah coaxed and pleaded Samson to tell her what it is that made him so strong. Samson said to her, "If they tie me with 7 green twigs from a tree, then I shall lose my strength." The Philistine rulers brought her 7 green twigs, and she bound Samson with them while he was asleep. Then she called out to him, "Wake up, Samson! The Philistines are coming to fight you." When Samson rose, he broke the twigs and went away with ease. A few days later, Delilah tried again to find his secret. She said, "You are merely making fun of me. Tell me truly how you can be bound." And Samson said, "Let them bind me with new ropes that have never been used before. Then I cannot get away." When Samson was asleep, Delilah bound him with new ropes. Then once again she called out to him, "Get up, Samson, for the Philistines are here." And when Samson rose, the ropes broke as if they were flimsy threads. By this time, Delilah was desperate to know Samson's secret. Again, she urged him to tell her, and he said, "Do you see my long hair? Weave them in the loom, just as if they were threads in a piece of cloth." Later, when Samson was asleep, Delilah wove his hair in the loom and fastened it with a large pin to the weaving frame. But when Samson woke up, he rose and carried the pin and the beam of the weaving frame away with him, for he was as strong as before. Delilah was shocked. She said to him, "Why do you tell me that you love me when you deceive me by keeping your secret from me?" Delilah pleaded to Samson every day until at last he yielded to her and told her the real secret of his strength. He said, "I am a Nazirite under a vow to the Lord. I am not supposed to drink wine and cut my hair. If I let my hair be cut short, then the Lord will forsake me. I will lose my strength and will become like other men." Delilah knew that she had found the truth at last. She sent word to the Philistine soldiers saying, "Come up at once and you shall have your enemy. Now I am sure that he has told me the truth." Now Delilah let Samson go off to sleep with his head upon her knees. While Samson was sound asleep, Delilah called someone to shave off the 7 braids of his hair. The moment this was done, Delilah called out, "Rise up, Samson! The Philistines are upon you!" Samson woke up, expecting to find himself as strong as before. Little did he know that he had broken his vow to the Lord, and the Lord had left him. He had become a weak, ordinary man, helpless in the hands of his enemies. The Philistines easily made him their prisoner. They took out his eyes, chained him, and sent him to the prison at Gaza. In the prison, Samson had to turn a heavy millstone to grind grain, as though he were a beast of burden. But while Samson was in prison, his hair grew long again, and with this his strength returned, for Samson had renewed his vow to the Lord. One day, a great feast was held by the Philistines in the temple of their god. The temple was crowded with people, and the roof over it was also crowded with more than 3,000 men and women. They sent for Samson to make fun of him. And while Samson stood between the 2 central pillars of the temple, he prayed to the God of Israel to give his strength back so that he could avenge his enemies. Then Samson placed one arm around the pillar on one side and the other arm around the pillar on the other side and said, "Let me die with the Philistines." He bowed forward with all his might and pulled the pillars over with him, bringing down the roof. Samson was among the thousands who were dead. That day, he had killed more Philistines than he had killed during his life. Samson's tribe came and found his dead body. They buried him in their own land. After this, it was years before the Philistines tried again to rule over the Israelites.